So the internet has dubbed this woman the world's dumbest criminal, and she's still on the run from the police. Okay, this is Aleefa Sumpter. She is a 25-year-old resident of Newnan, Georgia. Now, Aleefa had been arrested previously for some minor marijuana charges in the state of Georgia because weed is still legal in Georgia. So she had to pay $400 in both probation fees and court fees to the state county court. Now, Aleefa was gainfully employed at Whataburger, the fast food burger chain. Now, in January of this year, Sumpter was assigned to the drive-thru at the local Whataburger, and a customer came through and paid with a credit card. Later on that week, the bank contacted this customer and said that his card had been used to pay some probation fines and fees from a criminal court case, and was he aware of it? Now, he obviously said no, so he had to report it to the police department so he can get his money back. Now, police started an investigation, which was pretty easy because all they had to do was say, well, whose fines were paid, and when they looked into it, it happened to be Sumpter's.
Police say back in January, Sumpter was working the drive-thru at this Newnan Whataburger. A customer reported to Sonoy police that his credit card information was used to pay $400 in fines at the Coweta County State Court Probation Office. Investigators say they simply searched whose fines got paid. They say it was Sumpter, and her info revealed she worked at Whataburger. They asked the victim if he'd been to the burger joint. They say he said yes, he had, and he later picked her out of a lineup.
Now, when the story hit the news, it went viral. People started calling Sumpter the dumbest criminal in the world.
The internet has already dubbed the Whataburger worker one of the dumbest criminals after she allegedly used stolen credit card information from a drive-thru customer to pay her own court fine.
Here's some of the comments. Next level stupidity. The level of stupidity is so high with this one that I don't even have words for it. It's official. People are getting dumber. Now, we still have to talk about how this woman has fled the state and is now a fugitive from justice. But here's a quick word from our sponsor, Ethos. Okay, you've heard this spiel before. Life is unpredictable. One minute you go from enjoying time with your family, then boom, something unexpected happens. And that's why I make sure my family has peace of mind. And one way you can do that is through life insurance. Now, Ethos doesn't make it complicated. There are no long forms, no medical exams. Just go online and answer a few health questions. In less than 10 minutes, you can get a free quote. Go to ethos.com/Nate to start it right now. Policies start at about $10 a month, and you can get up to $2 million in coverage. And really think about it. Imagine if something does happen to you. How will your family keep up with the mortgage, pay the bills, tuition? Life insurance isn't just another expense. It's protection for the people who depend on you. Now, Ethos has already helped over 2 million families get covered, and they also have a 4.8 rating on Trustpilot. Now, don't wait. Give your family the peace of mind they deserve. Get a free quote at ethos.com/Nate. That's ethos.com/Nate. Link is also in the description and the pinned comment. Most people think life insurance is for them, but it's not. It's for the people they love. Go to ethos.com/Nate and get that quote today. Now, it got so bad for Sumpter online that she called the police and said, hey, I want to turn myself in. And then this happened.
She's taken quite a hammering on social media. She made a mistake. She's not an awful person, but obviously made a bad mistake, and hopefully she'll learn from it and move on. Am I confident she's going to turn herself in? No, but we'll see.
Police say they have good reason to be skeptical, but they say they also don't mind giving her another chance to do the right thing.
So, do you think Sumpter turned herself in? Well, ponder for a second. Here's the answer.
Now new at 4 o'clock, police say an employee at a Whataburger in Newnan stole a drive-thru customer's debit card number, then used it to pay a $400 court probation fine. Sonoy police shared this picture of Aleefa Sumpter. Investigators say she agreed to turn herself in 5 days ago, but she never did. Her family thinks she went to Florida because she had planned a trip there before she was charged.
So Sumpter got the hell out of Dodge. She's not as dumb as everybody thinks she is, huh? So she heads out of the state. Police then say, you know what? Since we trusted you to come by, you didn't come by, we're going to hit you with all the charges. And they essentially threw the book at her. Her misdemeanor charges are now multiple felony charges that can land her in jail for some time.
Coweta County took out a warrant for probation violation. Sonoy police took out felony warrants for identity theft and credit card fraud. Keep in mind, Sumpter's probation was just for misdemeanor pot possession, so things have escalated significantly. Authorities gave her until Friday to turn herself in, but they say she didn't. On Monday, they learned she'd skipped the state.
Now, it seems like Whataburger's hiring practices aren't really all that great, because there are a lot of stories where their employees are stealing customers' credit cards, like this one in Dallas, Texas.
I think I ordered the number 4.
It started with a simple craving.
Jalapenos. I love spicy food. Yes, ma'am.
So in early January, Andrew and his wife stopped at this Whataburger off Stemmons Freeway in Dallas. That should be the end of this story. And it was, until they checked their credit card statement.
Macy's, we never shop here. And then Small Direct Club, you're trying to get your teeth fixed, they're fine.
These weren't his wife's charges. Besides, there is no way she would spend $877 on men's underwear. Andrew reported the fraud to Irving police and called Macy's, and they gave him the name of the man behind the charges.
We go on Facebook. Sure enough, he was the only person that popped up. When I saw his picture, I recognized him from the Whataburger drive-thru.
22-year-old Daitez Williams, who police confirmed worked that drive-thru window.
You can't miss that here. You can't miss it.
Officers arrested Williams Friday night, and on him they found a red backpack with a red notebook with various names.
Card information, addresses, phone numbers, and we were one of them.
Andrew's bank refunded the money. Williams is charged with fraud, and now detectives are tracing back every name in that notebook. So we'll wait to hear if other people had a craving that cost them much more than they thought.
It aggravates me, that people think that they can get away with it all the time. Not this time.
And these aren't like the only two. When I was actually searching the web for this story, there were so many other Whataburger credit card frauds. It was like insane old stuff.
Meanwhile, Temple PD is looking into a situation at a local Whataburger after a woman says her credit card info was stolen by an employee who used it to buy himself a television online.
6 News reporter Andrew Moore tells us why the theft just seemed too easy and why the victim wants Whataburger's policies to change when it comes to credit cards.
Chris, Whataburger is one of my top 5 fast food places, and like you, I've handed a card to the person in the drive-thru multiple times. But when Susan Moore visited a Temple location last month, she says an employee copied her card info and was checking out online less than 10 minutes later. Maury says it happened at this Whataburger location in West Temple. She paid for food and then got an alert on her phone about online purchases. So she had to call Best Buy, make a police report, and meet the police back at the restaurant the next day so they could go over security footage. She told me the footage showed the 16-year-old employee casually take pictures of her card for use later on.
He lifts the phone up, takes a picture of my card. When he goes to hand me the receipt, he prints 2 receipts. He wrote the 3-digit number off the back of my card on one receipt, put it in his pocket.
It's scary when you think about how often we do eat out at fast food restaurants.
Now, I want to make this extremely clear. This isn't just Whataburger. This happens at McDonald's, Burger King. They have a drive-thru. It's probably happened to them. It's just Whataburger seems to have just a lot of these things happen, or at least they hit the news more often. All right, so now what should happen to Miss Sumpter? They were giving her a sweetheart deal on the weed. They even gave her a nice chance on these charges. Come in, we'll deal with it. Don't worry about it. You're not a bad person. Remember the cop said? She's not a bad person.
She's taken quite a hammering on social media. She made a mistake. She's not an awful person. But obviously made a bad mistake, and hopefully she'll learn from it and move on.
Now, all that he's saying may be true, but the fact that she's fled the state, the fact that she's a fugitive from justice, and the fact that she was so dumb and blatant with it that she goes and pays her own probation fees, not thinking that they're going to trace it back to her. It's a stolen credit card. Now, I think about 6 months to a year is appropriate. Even though now she is a straight up fugitive, she should be able to come back and, and deal with this, because this isn't a huge deal, but I think it's big enough where you can make an example out of her, especially since the story has gone viral. A lot of people are going to be looking to see what happened to this woman. And I think a slap on the wrist wouldn't deter anyone else from doing it. It may even embolden more people to do it. Hey, look what she got. Now, that's how I feel. Let me know in the comment section if you think I'm being too hard or being too lenient. With that being said, don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Do all that great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Peace.